I'm annoyed. YouTube made it illegal for people with under 1,000 subscribers to live stream off their phone, which is, I'd say, a lot of people, and like sucks for me because I mean, it doesn't completely suck, but it sucks somewhat because on one of these videos, it was on my phone on a tripod in my mom's bar at her place. She's got like a barn, and in that barn there's animals, but there's like a whole other section where it's a bar, and I can't do that no more unless I want to somehow mount this computer or buy a nice camera. I mean, I didn't have a lot of money invested in a tripod. I mean, this is the one I used, and it literally stinks. Like, it's horrible. I mean, it was, I think, under $10. It's crooked. I mean, it is crappy. But regardless, I could have gotten a better tripod, and it would have been a lot easier. It just really stinks that like I can't do it on phone no more. I know this is my 7th video. Gosh, I hope the audio is recording. I'm looking at it now. I've never done a video, or I've never done a video. Damn, I was thinking about plugging in headphones, but I only have Apple headphones. This is an HP computer, so I can't even do that. I'm gonna actually go on my phone real quick to see if I can hear this, because if I can't, this is gonna be really upsetting. I also tried to record one of these earlier, but I like messed up real early about something I don't remember, and I just completely said screw it. I'm not gonna record it. I was just gonna delete the video and restart now. Well, this is the second attempt, and I had to watch another YouTube video on how to delete a YouTube video. Do you know how time consuming that is and annoying? Like, they make it so hard. Here we go. Okay, live. Test. Oh wow, there's a lot of feedback, but it is live and you can't hear me. Wow. Oh. Wow. Oh. Trippy. But I don't know. The other kind of good thing about this is I found you can open up different tabs and still it'll still record. And also I can play on my phone now, which would be kind of pointless. But hello again to the kids. If I have kids, and if this ever goes anywhere, and if I remember, I did this when I had kids, and I do hopefully have kids. So now I'm done kind of bitching and moaning about that. This is also what my apartment kind of looks like. I'm a college kid, so I don't expect too much. I mean, there's a yoga thing right there. I got a fish tank behind me. It's nighttime, so the light's off. But yeah, it's definitely not 5-star living, but it gets it done. I've seen a lot worse, a lot messier. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely cleaned my bed. I have so much crap on the ground piled up like underneath because I don't have it all in the bed and look like a schmuck. It's been a while since I've done one of these. The last time I did it with my good friend, he just posted a video actually on his YouTube account. It was nothing about it was with me except like the last maybe 5-10 seconds of him at my mom's bar. Shout out to that place again. And we had done some drinking, and we had finished a bottle of Jim Beam vanilla, and I was just so drunk. He was like, "What did we just open up?" And then we'd been talking a lot about money and finances and whatnot. I don't know. I like talking about that stuff regardless. I don't find that stuff to be like, "Oh, you should never talk money." I find it just so interesting and blah blah blah. We had talked a lot about that, but he asked, "What did we open up?" And I was like, "Oh, what conversation did we open?" I was like, "Oh, he had this camera on me." I was just like, "Oh, we opened up another connection in our friendship about finance and the usage of debt and I just go on this drunken, stumbling ramble." And he's just like, "We opened up another bottle." And I was like, "Oh," reach behind me and grab his bottle. I'm like, "Yeah," and I go blink, and the closing video is me going clink, and the pausing, and in the bottom it's we were enamored, and we finished the bottle of Jim Beam vanilla. Stuff is so good. Mix it with Coke. Yeah, I needed the gym one. Mixed it with some Jim Beam. We mixed some Jim Beam vanilla with some Coke. Oh, took just shots of it all night. Make shots the entire night. Just kill the bottle. Really, really good. Talking about needing to work out, I need to do some more cardio. Getting pretty hefty. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I ran on the track today. Ran like probably a little under 2 miles, but kept a decent pace. Definitely took some breaks. I'm not the most well fit cardio long distance person, but definitely did it. And my legs today, they're not like sore because it's the day of, but like I can just feel them being tired and heavy. Which means tomorrow the day gonna be sore. Talking about walking around a bunch. I just got done hanging out in New York. My sister lives there, or yeah, my sister. Kids, your aunt, right? Yeah, and we walked so much. I mean, we saw every single site besides the Statue of Liberty and the Brooklyn Bridge. I know the Statue of Liberty is like a really big deal, and the Brooklyn Bridge is kind of a big deal. Oh, that's a dog. But when I tell you, we saw every single site. Like I one of my Google Maps was like, oh, the Flatiron Building. Oh, the Times Square. Oh, One World Trade Center. Oh, Ground Zero. Oh, I'm having trouble remembering them, but when I tell you, we walked around everywhere and saw them. We saw the UN building. We saw the Rockefeller building. We saw Trump Tower. We had some great pizza. Had a bunch of hot dogs. But yeah, the first day we got there, we had flown in actually and gotten in like real late. Got a hotel right next to the airport, stayed there for a night, woke up, and then we didn't really get to like in New York, Manhattan, where my sister lives. And then once we got there, my dad was feeling kind of sick, or your grandfather was feeling kind of sick, and we ended up walking around. Me and Connie, just that second part of the day, we kind of like got started around 1:30 or 2 o'clock, and we walked. I think that first day, I got on my phone. I'm pretty sure it was 17,000 steps, which was a lot. Dad stayed in the apartment or the hotel and chilled out, which was good because in the second day he toured with us. But okay, yeah, that Thursday, we got there Wednesday, crashed, woke up Thursday. We walked 7.1 miles, 17,866 steps. Then on Friday, we got a little earlier start. We walked 8.1, 20,000 steps, 25 floors. Oh, on Thursday, we walked 23 floors. And then on Friday, yeah, that was Thursday and Friday. And then on Saturday, we were just dead. I think that was the day we saw the New York Stock Exchange, the charging pool, and stuff like down there in like the financial district. We only walked 4.2 miles and 10,000 steps, but we were just dead. And then like that weekend that we flew home Saturday, that was Saturday. Sunday we just kind of chilled out. Monday I drove up to Tallahassee and I was in the car for like 6.5, 7 hours. So all I walked was 2,000 steps. So today I definitely had to put some more work in. 4.1 miles and 8,200 steps. So I didn't hit that 10,000 number. I feel like that's supposed to be really good for your health, but I ran 2 miles and was sweating in cardio, so that's good for something. But yeah, my legs are definitely sore and tired. Probably do need to lift some weights now and then, just so I don't lose the bulk, which is probably just fat now at this stage. All those years of lifting weights for football. Taking summer classes. Oh, that was another thing I want to talk about. Having somewhat of a crisis. I talked to a friend today after our class about our jobs. My job I have lined up. She's still kind of actively pursuing one, but she said, I feel like you're settling, Tommy. And I was like, what? Like, I'm going to be, you know, knock on wood, I'm looking to work for this Fortune 500 company that develops these massive neighborhoods that are like these really pretty communities, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you're so what I would be coming in is like I want to do the land. There's horizontal and vertical. Verticals buildings with roofs and all that. Horizontal, is bringing the ground up to level and making sure runoff and the roads and sewer and the lake and stuff that's like doesn't get because if you're on the vertical side, her father, who's also in construction, this classmate was like, yeah, I've heard some issues with that. And a construction manager will have his bonus rely on, oh, he needs to get X amount of things done by this date. Well, the purchasing manager won't be in contact with him. He'll purchase the wrong or improper equipment or materials. and it'll take 2 weeks to send it back and get the new stuff. Well, that construction manager's bonus won't get hit, and he won't get his bonus because of that purchasing manager. So his success is largely based off of that purchasing manager, which I think is a very common thing. Your father works construction, sounded like a really good guy on the phone, really good contact, probably just keep up with the future. But we're in this market analysis class, and we look at waterfall cash flows and the effects of debt, stuff that, since my parents are now starting to buy some rental condos, which is also a really funny story, I got to tell you. Uh, I'm, debt amplifies return and amplifies loss. Learned that we had this group project last semester in real estate investments, and we had to do an entire pick a property, build it. Hey, this is our tenants, market research, and then this is our cash flows from all the 5 years, and we sell in the fifth year. We distribute all that money from the sale. This, and like me and this other kid named Jake, we just did all the numbers aspect, and I really learned it well. And this class I'm taking over summer, these are summer classes right now, by the way. We went over and there's like 11 kids, maybe 8 show up. This is only the second day. And she was like, okay, how much you guys know about this and that? And like people were just, I was blown away. So there was mezzanine debt, which is like you've got your sponsor, like me, the developer. I'm gonna put in $1 million on this 10 million project. Well, the bank is a senior loan, and they're the permanent loan, blah blah. They're gonna put in like 8 million. You either have to come up with another 1 million, or you can go out to get mezzanine debt, which will fill up that other million to get you a perfect $10 million, so you can build it or blah blah blah, whatever. And our situation, it needed to be 3 million at 12%. She's like, okay, can you guys calculate? It's interest only payments each year, blah blah blah. Can you calculate the debt service for the mezzanine? I was like, okay, 3 million times 0.12. Okay, $360,000. I was like, okay, not that hard. Some girl literally goes, oh, is it $6,000 a year? I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm like, at some point you gotta take a step back and realize, like, let's make sure, does this pass the laugh test? I'm like, $6,000 a year for them giving you $3 million? Like, no, like just think about that. Like, that is not enough reward for them to give you $3 million and take that risk, blah blah. She's like, no, and then I had figured out the payment for like. Then we went down the waterfall cash flow, and she's like, what do you guys understand about IRR? And like, I didn't. The only thing that like not changed, but I learned was that mezzanine debt. If your project unlevered IRR, internal rate of return, is lower than the percent of interest on that senior loan, then you shouldn't take a loan against it because it's going to lower your IRR. Vice versa, if your project IRR is higher unlevered, then the loan amounts interest rate, then throw the debt on it. It's only going to amplify your return. But there was a mezzanine debt, and it was at 12%. Our project was at like 11.5. I was like, why would you do that? That's lower. And then I found out, no, when it comes to mezzanine debt, you look at the relationship between the levered return. In this case, it was like 34%, probably something on. It was like 33 point something. And I was like, and she's like, what do you guys think? I was like, wouldn't it lower it? And she was like, well, I don't know, we'll take a look. And I was completely wrong. I have no problem. It ended up making it. We went from $1 million of equity. It was 4 million. It was 4 million of equity, 16 of debt from a senior loan. Then it went 1 million, 3 million mezz, 16 senior. And we did it, and it turned out bumped the IRR to like 69%. I was like, what the heck? So how's this work? And like me and her had this conversation in class about the relationship between mezzanine debt and your levered return. So that 4-16 split, that was 34. If that mezzanine debt had an interest rate of like 35, then you wouldn't want to take on that mezzanine debt. And I was like, oh, so it doesn't correlate back to your unlevered return? She's like, correct. And like me and her having this, like, I would say upper level conversation about how debt work. And these kids are like having what is your annual debt service? We've been taking these classes. You should know how to use a payment function in Excel to get your payment on any size loan. You should also know how an interest only loan works. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I don't know. I don't want to come off cocky, which I probably do right now, but I'm like, it made me feel a certain way, especially, I didn't really feel it or think about it until that friend came up to me after class. I was like, don't you think you're settling just going to work as a land developer, keeping track of construction workers and job sites? I was like, no, she was like, she was playing devil's advocate, and I do like that when people do that because they make you think about things. And at the time, I was backpedaling. I was like, no, I think I'm doing the right thing because I want to learn how to build. FSU doesn't teach us that. They only teach us the numbers, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, hmm. And then I thought about it. The number side is also really important, you have to say. And I look, I don't know, am I settling? It's like the first thing I got. It's not an official job offer yet. They said they'd reach back out in like June, July to really let's look at it. And I don't know. I could see them offering me some low ball salary. Be like, no, I'm sorry, I got better job offers than them like matching. Or I'd be like, okay, we'll go with them. Like if they're gonna pay me $12 an hour, I can make the same money at Five Guys. Like, I don't know. Now when I think about that, I'm like, oh God, that's scary. So what I probably need to do is look into some more jobs. And she's right. Like I do really like talking about the numbers, and I feel like I don't want to forget any of that moving forward. So that was my little rant about jobs, and am I like settling just because I got something to work out kind of early, and But there's another guy who works at FSU now, is a big real estate, not professor, but he's in the program, does a lot of stuff for it. And I'm gonna find out he worked there. He's like, I absolutely loved it. One of my friends was able to stay through the '08 crisis, which was really hard and really amazing. He's like, yeah, we came in together, and basically he makes over like $1 million now, and this, that, and the other. And I was like, 1 million? Like, whoa. But then again, you look at like earned income and then portfolio. I mean, if you got $1 million, you can invest that however you like. But I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't want to lose track of how to do waterfall cash flows and meeting people's returns with pro rata pari passu and pro rata like just distributions of the selling price and how to calculate a mortgage. Oh, that was another thing, or like a remaining mortgage. Another like upper level finance conversation that me and the teacher had that no one caught or could understand was we talked about, okay, how do you find the remaining balance of a mortgage? We've been paying it for 5 years, it's amortized for 30 years. What's the balance at the fifth year when we sell it? Because we got to pay that off before we can get the money. I'm like, okay, you just want to take, I think someone came in, the present value of the remaining payments, not that hard. She was like, and she was like, yeah, that's one to do. I'd take the future value of the payments if we've already incurred. And, another, I always do it from like looking back. She did it looking forward, essentially. And I was like, oh, okay. I tried to be more forward looking. She said that to me. And I was like, okay, no problem. Like, as long as we see it the same number, it doesn't matter, really. And I mean, no one in that class understood what we were doing. No one. Maybe one kid. And they were just copying off her. I mean, she was I was probably a step and a half to 2 steps ahead of her the entire time, and I only had issues on a couple of things because I was rusty. And I'm like, okay, I got this. She's like, okay, guys, we're gonna do this a lot this semester. I'm like, why do you kind of have this? Like, I want to do some more upper level stuff. I say that there was also a master's level class you could have taken to like replace this credit, but I heard that one was really hard. But it was whatever. Oh, also in the beginning of class, she was like, oh, if you guys want to do like a 1 to 3 slide PowerPoint to see what your favorite building is, like you can do it for like a percent of extra credit. I'm like, for one slide, all I gotta tell you is when my building was built, why it's my favorite, where it's located, and a picture of it. 1% of my grade. I'm like, I thought we'd for the first 12, 11 minutes of class, there's 11 people, we'd all go up there. Hi, my name's No, I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 kids, and like 9 people showed up. I'm like, half the class didn't even attempt to get one extra when extra credit is needed. Then they'll come looking for it. But I'm like, how do you let that slip through your hands like that? I don't know. I say that, but there's been other times where I've completely been that kid. Get a dog out there. Also, another good thing, I can check my roommate's locations to see when he's coming home, and I can like wrap this up so he doesn't see any of this because this is still kind of something I do like low key. He's still at work. Oh. Hold on 1 second, though. I am going to see if anybody's breaking in. Random noises out there. What is it? The dog. What? Oh, boy. Come on, you can lay down. The dog is in here now with us. It's a pug one. Yeah. I'd show you the dog, but it's really maybe. What's good boy? Oh, good boy. Yeah, that's a dog. Okay, there we go. But what was I talking about? Yeah, and so I mean, it was really fun because I do enjoy that stuff. One, and I don't know, being a male and probably being uber competitive or over competitive and uber competitive. I was like, what are you guys learning? And I looked like these are the kids I'm going to be graduating with and competing for a job. There's only been a handful of kids I've like talked to, like, wow, this guy's good at this, or I could see him being a real competitor for a job if we look at it in another competition way. But like for the class I'm in, I'm like, out of the 11 kids, I'd put money on it right now. I know more about like real estate and like finance from a number standpoint on the commercial side than any of these kids. Like they're literally just trying to get the degree and get out of there. Like I don't know, but there's also I had a binge purchase, not binge, but unfinancially wise decision. I called my dad about it, which made me really feel like a non-adult, but I did. And then I really thought about it. And he was like, "No, that's fine." So I'm a big Matthew McConaughey fan, kids. If you know who he is, hopefully he's still alive by the time you guys are around. But if not, really interesting guy. I don't know how to describe him, but he's got a really good Oscar acceptance speech that's the first way I heard him and I really liked him. I've seen he had a couple of real good movies, but I was never big on him until I heard this speech and got more involved. And then he turns out to be like this like really chill, mellow guy, He got caught smoking weed once naked. He got caught by the cops, arrested for smoking weed naked, playing bongo drums on the patio of a house he owned or he was vacationing at. And he said that sometimes you just got to take a moment to like reconnect with with who you are, and getting naked, playing his bongo drums, drinking, smoking weed. Was it how it was? I was like, I really vibe with that, and took a played a movie called The Beach Bum that didn't really do well, but I really enjoyed it. It's basically about him being like a famous poet slash like beach bum, and it was just him doing like smoking weed, drinking, and like he's like, I gotta get low to get high, but just really interesting guy. One of the things uh, I did a bad job describing the movie, but that's basically what it is. But one of the other hobbies he has, besides like he's not like a huge marijuana pothead, he just got caught, and that's what his comment was on it. He didn't like apologize, and it kind of went under. But he's got such a culture around him because one of his big phrases is he was in his first movie, Dazed, Confused, and Educated, or Dazed and Confused. Stole that title for this channel. He looks out to someone and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna be there or do that?" And he's like, whatever. And he's like, they're like, "Okay, conversation's ending." He's like, "All right, all right, all right." I can't like do his accent. I can't do anything. But he's like, she just says, "All right, all right, all right," and the line has just become uber famous. I mean, it's not even a line; it's 3 words. But really like him, not just because he's a good actor, but also because he's also like just. I feel like he's all around good guy and like involved and he's excited and happy to be here, but he's not over the top like some of these other motivational speakers or actors and actresses who get uber involved on social media. But he just does what he wants to do with his life, and I strive to be like that. I have a couple friends like that who also strive to be like the guy who was on my feed last time. Very unique, interesting guy. He's got another good friend who's like a lacrosse player, beach volleyball player, captain of an a cappella team, like just all over the board because they do things they like and they don't care. I'm trying to get more better at the not caring and doing things I like and not being as lazy because I do feel like I am very lazy, which is a horrible habit to have, kids. But back to Matthew McConaughey. He's a big bourbon drinker. And a lot of companies want to endorse him and sign him for brand sponsor because he's got such a like cult following in a weird way. And he worked with Wild Turkey, a bourbon distiller in Kentucky, and they made it specials. What do they refer to it as? Small batch aged American oak expert crafted bourbon called Long Branch. That's used with mesquite wood. He's from Texas, and mesquite's a big wood there, kids. Did you know? And yeah, and so I bought a bottle for like $42 today, and here it is. Oh, it reads it backwards, but it's Long Branch. It's got a really cool, I think it's a really cool bottle. I'm also a fanboy. And if you can tell, what you probably can't, no, you can't. There is like a turkey there. Not much of a turkey hunter. Not much of a hunter. Actually, went hunting 2 times recently with a guy to get hunt. Didn't see anything. Saw a bobcat. Decided not to shoot it because I wanted to kill a pig and I felt bad. I don't want to kill a cat. Blah blah blah. Come to find out, cats like destroy the turkey population. Oh, how funny! Just thought about that. Well, they do. And he's like, yeah, if you see that, dust it. I'll give you guys a free hunt next time. It was free because we didn't see anything. Good guy. Guy chasing down what he wants to do. He's got a outfitting thing where he takes people on guided hunts and also has like an outdoor store, like a Bass Pro, but a small operation. With Amazon, big e-commerce online shopping thing, kids. If it's still around, probably is by the time you get around. But it's hard to do get into business anything with like retail or buying and selling because people are gonna go on Amazon buy it cheaper probably, you know. But it was really fun. I mean, we didn't see anything, but I still had a good time. Oh, crazy story about that. So the time I saw the bobcat, I texted him. I was like, "Oh, I think I see a bobcat over there." I mean, it was for me like a little further than back. Well, I was up in a tree stand. I was like, "If you see one, dust it." And ended up not dusting. And it's like I can't tell. It's real far. I don't know if it's a house cat, but like I think something to do. He's like, "Just don't worry about it. Let it go by. We'll get the pigs. They're gonna roll in here soon." Didn't see any pigs, and then I was like, "Oh gosh, I feel bad about not shooting a bobcat." Well, he's like, "Well, there's another stand." So me and my friend I go hunting with Brian, my girlfriend's sister's husband, so her brother-in-law. Very generic name. Have fun trying to find him. He he didn't say anything, so he's like, "Okay." He hands Brian this thermoscope. He's like, "We're gonna walk up on this third stand. The pigs might be here, and if they are, we're gonna pop them." And I was like, "Okay, like perfect, Brian. That's all you. I'm not here to kill a raccoon, trash panda." He's like, "Okay." Well, I put my headphones on and cover my ears real loud because I don't like hearing that zing. And so he takes forever to take a shot. I'm like, "What the frick's going on here?" And so finally it goes bang. I sit there and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And then I'm like, still sitting there, I hear bang. I'm like, "Why did he shoot twice?" I'm like, "What?" And then I look over, they both pull out their handguns and they like shoot towards these bushes. And I'm like, "What the fuck just happened?" Like I was sketched. He's like, "Bro, did you hear that?" I was like, "Wait, I'm sorry, my headphones were on." I was like, couldn't really see what happened. So there was on that thermal one like red like moving animal and another. They thought they were two raccoons. Come to find out, it was a bobcat and a raccoon. He shoots, missed the bobcat. I think he shoots, missed the raccoon, and then that bobcat turns and sprints right at them. And then it realizes he shoots again, and then the bobcat realizes they're right there, peels off supposedly like 5 feet right in front of them, even closer. They showed me this since it was a lot closer from me and that bobcat. And me and that bobcat were close when I was in that tree stand. We were like 10, 15 yards. He said right at 5 feet, it turns and darts right into the woods. And then they like pull out their handguns and shoot. And they were like, "Holy cow!" They say it vocalized, made this like huge sound. I was, on the back of my headphones, like pushing them down because I didn't want to hear the ringing in my ears. And I was just like, "Wow, I'm glad I didn't shoot that bobcat because I almost guarantee if it was that same bobcat, if I would have killed that bobcat, Brian would have never seen anything. It'd have been like, and I don't think he would have been upset if I did, but I'm just glad he had a really cool story, and I got to make fun of him for missing because on that same day we went hunting, I literally missed like the last 2 steps of the tree stand coming down. Just ate it. Oh, it was hilarious. I'm glad only the guy who took us hunting saw because Brian would have made fun of me. So I made fun of Brian for missing. And then I was like, "Yeah, by the way, I hit all the tree stand, so you're not the only dumbass here." So that was one thing. But yeah, so what have we talked about? Long Branch, whiskey slash bourbon. I think whiskey and bourbon are the same thing. Who knows? Um, Talked about hunting. So Wild Turkey, the whole Matthew McConaughey and the herding hunting story, that all kind of wraps up with one, in my opinion. School and am I settling because I got this one only job offer really, and I'm like, "Oh, what happens if they're like, oh, we'll pay you $12 an hour?" Like I would be like, "What?" Like I'd be pissed. I'm like, I think I can obtain a better wage working at like being a fast food employee at like Five Guys. Five Guys is like more of an upper class fast food. I used to work there. I would just be like no, like I have no idea. Like I've heard mixed reviews about the company. Some people love it. Some people told me the story about the whole guy and his bonus. So, anyways, talked about wild turkey hunting, talked about the job, and talked about YouTube, which is also really annoying because you can't do this now on the live. Like, hey, this is like the spur of the moment deal. Let's do it now. I can't do that anymore. Hoping the water will help me tomorrow with my legs. I desperately need to unpack from New York. Oh, that was another thing I talked about New York because I have all this luggage, not luggage, but clothes I brought home and then threw in my suitcase, flew to New York, flew home, packed up all my clothes because I overpack. But yeah, that was one of the interesting things. I'm gonna look through my photos, see if there's anything cool I can talk about. I was hating on this. As time goes on, I kind of like this being able to go. And the video, I have the picture on my phone of hold on, let me see if I can. Oh, I was so gone. So gone. Oh, we ate so much pizza. Oh, we went to the World Trade Center Memorial. So sad. Oh, I ate some really good chicken parm. Had a bottle of wine that night with some baked oysters. Was good. Oh, I tried to. Was good. We took a picture of the charging pole from in front and behind because they actually have like testicles on it. And let me tell you, he's hung, boys. Went to the Central Park Zoo. Went to Central Park. What else did we do? Went to the Grand. Oh yeah, Grand Center. Went to the New York Library. Went to Grand Terminal, the big one. Went to Radio City. Went to the Rockefeller Building. Went to St. Patrick's Cathedral. Went to St. Thomas Cathedral. Went to Madison Square Garden. Went to the Flatiron Building. I already said that. What else did we do? Went to the Stock Exchange. What's this one? Oh, we went to the Chrysler Building. Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, so we did a lot. I don't have the list on me, but we did a lot. Oh, tell you what, it is a good life. I'm tired right now. But oh, here's a picture of that bobcat. It was so close. Hold on, focus. Focus. Oh, yeah, I guess shit. What if I had like oh yeah, there you go. It was really close. Yeah. Game of Thrones. We've got one episode left in the entire series, I'm pretty sure. I think maybe two. I don't know, but it's coming to a close. That's like a 10-year series that was really big for our generation. I only started watching after the seventh season. 8 is the last one. So I like sped through all 7, and now I have to wait each week for the 8. Series aren't as good when you don't keep up with it from a week in, week out time and waiting 2 years for the next series or something like that. Because like, oh, he died. That's horrible. Oh my gosh, what are they gonna do? Blah, blah. I don't know, let me find out next episode. There's one character that died, and people had to wait like a year. I'm like, ooh, that would suck. And probably make you think and like the show so much better just because of the suspense and whatnot. I'm not much of a bourbon drinker, but I'm a big McConaughey fan. Long Branch, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Oak and Texas Mesquite Charcoal Refined. Matthew McConaughey and Eddie Russell. 43% alcohol per volume. Really cool bottle. Really cool top to the bottle. I don't want to say I want to make it a tradition of taking a shot of this at the end of one of these podcasts, but they chose the name Long Branch because he said the Russell family and the whole Wild Turkey family. They said when he came on as a brand ambassador and person that they all were very nice. And it's like extending a hand to friendship and Long Branch is that, sharing it with good friends and new people. And I think I want to vibe to that more. Talking about that, I had thought a lot about graduation, and I've been to a lot of different graduations with family. They've always said, "Hey, when you graduate, let us know. We want to come up and do the thing." And I was like, that's a good idea. I think I got to kind of pin down graduation for sure, and then sound bulky. And they'll be like, "Hey, this is where I live. This is where graduation is going to be. What time? This is my apartment." And then talk to my parents. But hey, I would love it if like we had a bunch of family, a couple of friends from down south that I'm real close with, and have hors d'oeuvres and just basically have some like drinks and be like, all right, let's talk and BS, go to graduation, go to lunch, or go to dinner, but then like give a speech almost, which is weird. I don't like public speaking, but to give a speech, like I just want to take a moment to thank everybody, blah blah blah. Everybody have a shot of Long Branch. No, not a lot of people would, but I would. But just it's weird. academia is coming in close unless I go to grad school. I'm not going straight after college, but like, I would be against it for real estate because it's really interesting. But I think yeah, for a tradition, I should take a shot of Long Branch at the end of this. Oddly, I had a little bit of you know, make a sucker face when I do it. It's gonna be like, oh, I'm not a big drink. I mean, I drink, but I'm not one of these manly guys that drinks bourbon on the rocks, blah blah. I'm not even drinking it on the rocks, which just means ice. I'm not even mixing with Coke. Earlier, I had it on like with some ice. I was like, that's horrible. It definitely's got like a tinge to it, but then I had mixed some Coke in it, and it just tastes horrible. I don't know if like the Coke picked up like soap residue in the cup I used or something, but it was horrible. And so then I looked up on YouTube how to drink bourbon, and they're like, one guy from Jim Beam was like, with Scotch, there's all these different rules. With bourbon, drink it straight, drink it with some cola in there, drink it with some on the rocks, drink it with some water. I don't care. It's about you drinking it and having a good time and enjoying it. So if you can do that, do it anyway. If you can do that, if you can drink it and have a good time doing one of these ways, or however way you want to do it that way. And I was like, oh. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not even gonna pour. I'll probably just pour like how they have these like right up here. I'm not gonna. I'm not pouring it in there. I'm just starting a tradition. I've been drinking water a lot during this. So my glasses fell. Sunglasses. Clean the palate to get the full experience. So, part of me feels like this is such a dumb, stupid hobby, recording these like 30 to an hour long monologues of me talking that they won't go anywhere. I was like, yeah, maybe it is stupid, but in some sense, I do enjoy it. But it's stupid in this. Like, the only thing I don't like is when like this is stupid. Could you be doing something more productive? I'm like, not really, not right now. But I'm like, wow, that's a kind of a crappy, slow life if you can't do something more productive right now. But we all need downtime. Well, I just had a week. I had a week of summer vacation because I have summer classes and did a bunch of stuff. I don't know. I don't want this summer to just be like, okay, you go to your one class today, and then you work on your online class, and then you'll sit around and don't do anything. So that's something I gotta also think about. So, but that might be a conversation for a different day. I'm trying to be more active in general in my life. Oddly, not excited to drink this, but I could also see like Matthew McConaughey. Don't even use Matthew McConaughey, but just people in general, like, oh, long day at the office. Let me sip on this with the rocks instead of drinking a beer and feeling bloated and having to drink two or three to like really kind of feel like any buzz, for lack of a better word. And also, you see these people and these big lawyers. Oh, you want some bourbon? Blah blah blah. And also, the bottle is just so cool. Can't wait to finish it. Probably gonna be a long time to finish it. It doesn't smell like horrible. I mean, you can definitely smell some alcohol on it, but it's not horrible. I mean, it's a baby shot. I mean, I had to really tilt it so you can see it, but it's a baby shot. I got no problem saying it's a baby shot. I really like the bottle. I think I might have spilled a little on like the paper. I'm wiping that off because I'm definitely gonna do something to save the bottle. Yeah, definitely spilled on my desk. Cheers. Maybe I can give you a better shot of it. I got it. I'll just show you this way. Pick up the camera. Can you see that? I don't know. I'll watch this end part later on my phone. But never really drinking a lot of. I drank Jim Beam a bottle the other week. I sound like an alcoholic saying this way. Never been like a big straight shot type of guy. Wow. It doesn't burn like Fireball, or like you got that breath out. You're just like, wow. But my tongue, Oh, hold on. Let's start from the beginning. Oh, there's a little left in there. Definitely a cold weather drink. I feel like a cold night in front of the fire pit. Oddly, one of the commercials was him doing that with like a singer and whatnot. But when I first like get in the mouth, I'm not drinking it cold, so it's not like it's like cold. It tastes room temperature. It's like this, not thick, but not like water quick. Like water is not very doesn't have a lot of viscosity to it. So does whiskey. It doesn't either. But it's definitely like it's smoother, and you can just feel it like flow into your mouth. Sounds good. So, but the second it kind of gets all, and when you start, it gets put in your mouth. You put it in your mouth. It's like I can just feel heat and like the sensation going like up the sides of my head and my forehead around my body and the top of my quads, thighs. I'm just like, and then after I take it, like I let it sit there, like that sensation kind of gets higher and higher and it kind of peaks and just kind of you feel it everywhere. And then I swallow. I'm like, ooh. And then like when I breathe out fireball, like when you that first breath out with fireball, you're like, wow, like you taste it, burns like hell. They market it that way. With this, it doesn't do that necessarily, but like my entire tongue feel. I mean, I held my mouth a while. My entire tongue just feels like covered. I'd also watched some reviews on it, so I'm probably piggybacking off what they said. But you can definitely feel it like all across your like tongue and like mouth, and like when you close your mouth and your tongue rests on top of the roof of your mouth. It excuse me. It definitely like covers it all, and like it's not a horrible burn, but it's definitely there. And like people say it's sweet. I wouldn't say sweet because I'm a college kid, and sweet drinks are like margaritas with 3 pounds of sugar in them and like fake sweetener. But it's not just completely harsh. I once had Brian, the same guy I went hunting with. He was like, "You want some of this good whiskey?" And it just seemed lighter within that. Like it flowed quicker in my mouth, which is also weird. Sounds really weird, and with this, like it kind of went in. It went in when I had Brian's whiskey. It like when it didn't taste like much, and I'd swallow, and then you get like that afterburn. With this, when I with Brian's, yeah, the best way I can describe, I would drink it, I put it in my mouth, and it would flow real quick, and I drink it real quick, and then afterwards you kind of get that real like taste and that burn. With and it would, but when it would go down real quick, and it was real fast. But this, I might have taken more time. But even when I did it out real quick before I did this video, I was just kind of like it doesn't flow around your mouth like a quick liquid. It almost feels like it's like thicker. I know that's so weird to say, but definitely goes everywhere. And second shot, sip, whatever. I can definitely see why people enjoy this. It's not nearly as sweet. It's not as carbonated. It's not carbonated like beer. Ugh. Ooh, and then I get that nice burp. But people talk about like the I'm not a bourbon entrepreneur or whatnot, but or extravaganza type of person. But like, it's got like a nice like after like it doesn't when you breathe out, it doesn't burn. It doesn't burn, but you definitely feel it. And it's got like a really cool taste like to it. I mean, you're not gonna catch me taking a shot of this every day, or like before I go to work or wake up, or I might take like a little shot of it before I go out, with on top of some beer and other stuff, because I want to make this more a special occasion type deal. But it's all right. It's not horrible, and I can also see why these older gentlemen who've been drinking bourbon a long time, like, oh, I want this bourbon, and I don't know. They talked about they don't want to make it too sweet or too oaky, this, that, and the other. Like, I haven't tasted anything bad bourbon really. I mean, Jim Beam Vanilla. I watched a YouTube video, and at the Wild Turkey, they were like, "Oh, you can't add anything to bourbon," and then it's not bourbon because McConaughey wanted to add some like cherry, something just to sweeten it up, and they're like, "No, no, we can't do that. That's not bourbon." And he's like, "Yeah, they're right. Like, they're traditionalists. We got to give it to them." And so they added to use mesquite wood sweetener, and that helps in the filtering process. Blah blah blah. Jim Beam Vanilla. There's some vanilla, and you get that same kind of taste, but it does taste cheaper. It's probably all marketing, just because I know this bottle taste costs more than that Jim Beam Vanilla. But at the end is when you really get the vanilla. With this Jim Bean, it was kind of like the entire, like very similarly the entire way through. And then when I went out, and then when you swallow it and that oxygen comes back in and kind of amps up those flavors, you get that, well, like, I'm gonna say oaky sweet, but it's not sweet. I have trouble calling it sweet because when people talk about sweet alcohol, I think of like margaritas and stuff like that. I don't get a burn like with a Jack Daniels or anything like that. But overall, I'm a fan. I mean, I spent $42, so I don't think there was really any way I was gonna not be a fan. Then again, I had some mixing with some Coke, and it was god awful, god awful. I could see throwing a little water in there, maybe to cut down the burn if you really didn't like it. But yeah, I don't know. I want to feel more manly and feel good, but it does feel good. I've taken 2 small shots, and it's already kind of down a little bit. I mean, like, oh, that's not much, but my shots are really low. Yeah, I'm probably gonna cut it off. I've got summer classes every day at 2:15 and an online class for this. I got one at 2:15 every day for the first 6 weeks, and then an online class for the entire 13 weeks of summer. So I don't know. I'm probably gonna go out a lot more this semester. Need to branch out, make some new friends, and experience my last hoorah of college. So yeah, I guess on that note, that's all I gotta say. All right, all right, all right. Even when I say it, I just don't like the words sounding because they just don't sound as good as it coming out of his mouth with like the Texas swing. But I'm out of here. All right, all right, all right. Not near. That's probably maybe a little better, but still horrible. Maybe I'm probably just being a self-critic. Damn, 46 minutes. I don't know. Gosh, I might also need to do this just so when I have conversations and they get going, I don't have to like, I don't abuse them and take them over with all the crap I gotta say. This is a good way to let me get all that crap out of my system. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. No one came in on the stream, which is fine because I probably would get sketched out and freak and overthink everything. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here. Call it right now. Oh, sorry. Call it now.